Hello everyone. In this session, let us see how we can explore the SAS procedures. First, you have already imported the SAS table. Once you have imported the SAS table, we may be interested in accessing the data and verifying whether any information that is available, is useful, may have to be modified, or you don't have to modify. Those information we may want to check it. So we have some steps that are useful for us like proc contents, like proc print, proc means, proc univariate and proc freq. So in this session we are going to see what it does. The proc content gives you the contents of the SAS table. So it gives a picture of what does a SAS table contain. Usually we open the SAS table, we know something called as descriptor portion on the left hand side of the table and data portion on the right hand side of the table. So that is when you open a SAS table and visually observe it. The overall information you can get it using the contents data, whichever you can use it, or you can find out using a manual method. Proc print, it creates a listing of all the rows and columns in the data whichever you have mentioned. If you do not mention, by default it prints all the rows and columns in the SAS table. Now the proc means it calculates simple summary statistics for the numeric columns in the data. So ensure that you have selected only the numeric columns, whereas proc univariate, this also generates summary statistics, but it is in more detailed version. In these two steps, proc means and proc univariate, compulsorily the variables that you select where statement, when you write it, it should be, the variable should be a numeric variable. So if you use any character variable, you may encounter error. Proc freq creates a frequency table for each column in the input table. So here the variable doesn't come, we are going to create tables. The frequency tables are created for the whichever variable or the column that you specify. So the frequency, in the sense, usually this is highly applicable for data that are categorical. So categorical data, something like a region, country, sections of a particular class, ABC sections. So such kind of data you can create a frequency. If the variable is character and unique value for each data, in that case it is not suggested to use frequency, and even for numeric data you cannot use a frequency procedure. So let's go to SAS Studio and see how these things are done. Here we are in SAS Studio. So here we see syntax for proc print, proc means, proc univariate, proc freq. So here in this particular syntax, proc print, proc means or proc univariate, even the proc contents also, so it looks very similar. So the syntax reads like this: you will be writing proc print, data is equal to the input table you have to give, and within bracket you can write OBS is equal to n. N is a number. It represents how many rows in this particular table you would like to write it. You would like to select. Where represents the variable which you would like to select, the column names. There could be multiple columns separated by space. Proc means and proc univariate follow the same set of syntax. So ensure that the semicolon is there for each statement. Whereas the proc freq, if you see it, it is tables. The tables for which columns it has to be prepared. So that you have to give that is the syntax. For example, proc print, if you look at it, this particular step, proc print, this one, it creates a SAS table from SAS help library. The file is cars. The first 10 values are considered, and the variable that gets printed are make, model, type and MSRP. If you observe the SAS help under libraries for cars, right, let's look at the cars first. Yeah, here it is, and look at the variables. It is cylinder under car, cylinder, drivetrain, engine size, invoice, length, make, model, many multiple variables are there. Of that we are selecting only 4 variables so that we can print only those. So let us go ahead and run it. So you see that there will be a table under the results. So you get only the first 10 because we have given OBS is equal to 10. First 10 values will be printed. Make, model, type, MSRP are the only variables that get printed out. So that is what you get in the proc print step. Now if you go for proc means, now the proc means follow the very similar syntax, where the sashelp.cars is the file taken. The variables that we are using are engine size, horsepower, MPG city and MPG highway, and these four variables are numeric. So if you run this particular proc means step, so let us see what we are going to get. So you are supposed to get summary statistics. Now variables, four variables what we have selected, all are numeric. They are having some labels already formatted there. So the number of observations, the mean of all those observations, standard deviation, minimum and maximum, this information we get it. Now if you look at the univariate, let us take only one variable, that is MPG highway, and let us see what detailed statistics we get for this numeric variable MPG highway. So I'll run the program and I'm supposed to get a detailed statistical analysis for MPG highway. So it's a univariate procedure run for the MPG highway variable, and the basic details are in the first table: number of observation, mean, standard deviation, whether it is skewed, uncorrected standard sum of errors, and coefficient of variation, standard errors. All the statistical analysis in detail it is provided. So if you are very enthusiastic in statistical analysis, this particular step may be highly useful. Now let us look at the proc freq and observe that here, remember one thing, the observation point of view, that is here I have taken only the OBS is equal to 10. If at all I remove this, I am considering all the rows, that is data, right? So all the rows of cars, if I remove this, I will get all the rows of the cars SAS table as print. And here there is no OBS is equal to 10 mentioned, means I will be considering all the values. If you write OBS is equal to 10 here, for calculating this information you will be selecting only the first rows. From the first 10 rows you will be selecting these variables for the calculation of means if you write OBS is equal to 10. Now let us look at the proc freq. Same concept is applicable here. So we will be taking origin, type, drivetrain for the tables to be printed. Let us look at the frequency table now for these particular variables. That is a freq procedure. If you look at it, the origin, type and drivetrain, so they are having the categorical variables. There are three categories: Asia, Europe, USA. For that frequency, the percentage of that means 150 out of the total, 123 out of the total, that's the percentage. Cumulative frequency, that's added up here, and the cumulative frequency is nothing but adding up the percentages. So this information is available for origin as the variable. For the type as the variable, you get one more table. So the third one, drivetrain, so here if you see it, we have given 1 2 3 variables. For each variable we get one frequency table. So this is what you get for these procedures. This information is highly useful for us when we assess or access the data and then assess the data, what and all information are available to us, whether there is any information that is missing, skewed, or what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, so that you can create a suitable code for in the further processing. You can achieve this thing. Yeah, that's it for this session. Thank you.